Howdy. Hi all. Been a little while. Um, Welcome back to my awesome stream where I do lots of cool things. I spend time with my friends and we play things and so on. So, in the time that has passed since the last Snowbound Blood and Vast Error streams, some minor sea changes have occurred. The winds have shifted, as it were. So I'll leave. I'll do a little bit of like announcing right now, and I guess some housekeeping. But I'll leave like the main gist of it till the end of the stream. So today we're gonna be doing chapter 3 of Snowbound Blood, and there will be one of us will be missing for that time. One of the 6 of us that normally attend. And this will be the last Snowbound Blood stream for a while. We can't really say when. I don't really have an idea of when we could, all 6 of us could line up our schedules again. Here's hoping it's soon. But because of schedule misalignment, we will be putting Snowbound Blood and Vast Error on hiatus. The good news is that something else will be coming afterwards, and I will say what that is at the end of the stream. It'll obviously involve less of us, but okay, I'll tell you who also at the end of the stream. Yeah. Otherwise, let's enjoy the remaining time we have with Snowbound Blood as it is right now. Right about now. Yeah. I'm gonna undeafen. Oh, right. A couple of other housekeeping things first. You might have noticed the stream, I think, looks a lot smoother frame rate wise. That's because at the start of this month, my old PC died. The graphics card just completely shit itself and died, and that set off a chain reaction where, okay, well, in order to replace the graphics card and get a new one, I needed a new motherboard, and that meant I needed new RAM, and that meant I needed a new case in order to hold that motherboard and RAM, and that meant I needed a better CPU because of the way CPU support works. And so I, over the course of that day, realized I would need an entirely new computer except for my hard drives. So I procured a new computer that is way better than the last one, except for my hard drives, which are the same, and they're pretty decent, so that's okay. And now I'm making more avid use of external hard drives and all that. But yeah, hopefully I can run better games more consistently and at higher frame rates. What that means for me, and for you by extension, is that I will be able to play more betterer games, graphically speaking, and not run the risk of destroying my computer's GPU or CPU or the stream, because I don't think the bitrate has ever really been an issue, and I'm very glad for that. What that implies, evidently, is that I intend on, alongside this other thing that I'll be announcing at the end of the stream, returning to streaming stuff on my own, because there are games that I want to play and show people, and I honestly kind of get more motivated to play single-player games, you know, if I'm streaming them. So yeah, look forward to that. We'll see how that goes. Blood. Yeah, Blood. Snowbound Blood. Get right to it.
Yeah,
hello?
pumpernickel. Hey,
Yep.
how's you
Hello.
pumpernickeling right now? You pumpernickeled?
What do you... Yeah?
You pompadored?
No.
You're gadzooked right now?
I'm a mullet head. You know this.
You're malachuked? You're smelling goop?
I'm maladjusted.
Oh, but that's why you aren't trusted.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Bard.
Thanks.
This is how we start. Coming back after so many weeks.
It's been like a month and a week, I think. Maybe a month and 2 weeks. Month
Has
and a
it?
half.
Hold on.
It's been less than 2 months. That much I know.
Has
for
it?
sure.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Let me open up the game and see if
Open the game.
OBS will recognize it.
You probably should have figured that out beforehand.
It's not hard. It's just like a window capture thing.
Mm.
What's up with everybody in the call? Also, what were you streaming? Lyna, were you playing Rain World?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in Submerged with Monk.
Submerged.
Submerged due to climate change.
There we are.
Superstructure.
Stream won't be able to see this, but they'll get to see. Well, we get to comment on this video.
I wish I could playlist, then the audio would happen.
Holy sh! Oh. What the fuck?
The Joker, Little Max.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's gaming. And then...
Neo
What the
Gray.
fuck?
That's good.
That's so sad. I automatically sympathize with all Little Mac players.
Yeah.
Don't.
They have it
Don't.
rough.
Alright.
Don't.
That's like sympathizing with grapplers.
No, that's
Yeah.
fine. Sympathizing with grapplers is okay. Who you should not be sympathizing with is zoners.
No. Zoners are cringe and lame and stupid. No skill. No
You
brain.
play a hybrid zoner.
Hybrid zoners are
Hybrid.
different. Hybrid zoners are different. Hybrid
I don't
zoners
like
are
Lambda
quiet.
Pico. Like Shadow Naruto.
Look,
That shit's fucking.
Lambda 11 players
Sad.
in BlazBlue, they still have human rights, alright? New 13 players, it's over.
I thought it's the other way around.
No, Lambda 11's the hybrid, New 13's the pure zoner. Their kits are almost the same though.
I see.
Kind of. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Can you
See
hear
it,
it?
hear it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Got the I've got the capture card worries now. Every time I stream a game, it's like, hey. Okay.
I face one.
Roll
call! Donald!
Goofy! Shit.
Gosh. Looks like we're the only two here. Donald.
Am I doing a fucking Disney character
Did
voice?
you say Sora? I don't know. Got it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
This is the content you came here for.
The mouse tool for later. Oh. Yeah, where's Mickey?
Mick.
Lyna, can we hear your best Mickey impression? Mickey Mouse?
No.
Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mo.
That's really good.
Wait, hold on. Is Mickey Mo fetching Mo from the Three Stooges, but he's a mouse instead?
The way I would spell Mickey Mo, I would put the U in there, which makes him not Mo from the Three Stooges.
No.
It's his uncle, Mickey Mo.
Hey, Mickey Mo.
Hey, it's me, Uncle Mickey
What are you
Mo.
doing? Mickey Mo.
Hey, I'm walking to. Hey,
It's like triple deuce.
hey,
Mickey
Mo.
Hey.
Mo, a stereotypically New Yorker name.
Hey Mo, you go to Tony's place?
Hey Mo, you got 3 toes? I need them now. I need
Get the
2
invitation to
toes.
Philbert's party?
Jim Gaffigan's party. What's going on?
Hey.
Hey, I'm Micking here.
No, I was looking that up.
Don't worry, I've just said something that's offended at least 15 people.
Oh my god. It's
Hey, I'm
stream.
Mikhailin here.
It's every stream. It's not
Hey, I'm
actually,
Mikhail
I think
Xenoblade,
verbing
baby!
I think verbing it makes it okay. It's not. It's kind of obscure as a phrase.
Uh-huh, and? Am I okay or am I dead, man?
I just recorded that, sending it to the police.
The cop
You're going,
cops.
you're going behind bars.
Yeah,
Amazing.
the vast error police are gonna get you. It's over.
Perfect.
Troll crimes.
I need to change headsets.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
I'm gonna start the game chapter 3 thing.
Good thing our narrator is here.
Yup. Very true. Hey Lana, do you remember your
No.
voice?
Do you remember? No.
Bruh, it's been like a fucking it's been like 30 years.
Yeah,
It's been a long
it
time.
has been too long. Well,
Yeah,
you'll
let me
figure it
close
out.
my game.
What Skug were you playing as?
Monk.
Monk.
I haven't beaten the game as Monk, so I'm just gonna explore every single region as Monk, and then
Are you like
you
going
get
and getting your remaining achievements or something?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting the cloak for Moon.
Awesome. Do that as monk? I thought you had to do that as like artificer or something.
No, that's Monk. No, why would you Artificer
Sorry,
can't breathe.
Spearmaster, okay? My bad.
Why no Moon hasn't collapsed during Spearmaster.
Fucking remember.
Ongly Dooples? And
I
Ongly D? Looks like I don't have to pee.
who in this call is the Ongly D?
I don't know.
Me, narrator.
Sky, the spectator? Spectating
The
Sky.
spectator's the Ongly D, and you're all my Ongly Dooples?
Yeah, you know about is it like Stepin Stew? Stradlin, what is his name? The Mario Sunshine enemy? Do you know about that guy? Stew?
Yeah, I think there are multiple stews.
There are multiple stews. I think you're a stew. You're a stew type creature, Sky.
Actually,
Which
you're a
one?
student.
Sizzling Sky.
The like cutoff on the like, oh, or like the woo is always the best part of it.
For sure.
How fast is the cutoff?
Really fast. It's like woo. So I know what happened, but it doesn't give like any satisfaction to it.
Student.
Look
Yeah,
at
like
that, dang your
Arthur
brain.
Dent.
Into my forehead. Please don't. Please don't press down on the soft spot on the top of my head. No.
I mean, when I start rubbing my brain.
Okay, are we?
Yep.
All right, Blake, take it away.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It has.
Another half-remembered dream. You are a sprawling machine, every piece of you grinding with effort, going too long without being maintained. Your gears scream and spark with a grating noise that, taken all at once, is in a tonal melody, brilliant in its simplicity. Oh!
That's like.
You sing for the effort and the labor. You turn and turn, never done.
Oh, I didn't bother to check. Is that? Oh my goodness. Hold on a second. There's a mod in chat, right, Blake? Can you?
Yeah? What about it?
Can you tend to this?
10 to what? I gotta.
We got a friend here, a visitor.
The rock eater in chat.
Uh-huh.
An ice dweller.
Remember how I opened fucking mod view?
Oops. What the fudge did I just do? I just tried to print it
Banned.
out.
I'm trying.
Yep. Print the chat logs.
Can I do it here? What I gotta do?
You can click on the little thing, the little sword. I think when you're in chat, it takes you to
Get
mod
that
view.
ass banned.
Follow,
Never
whisper,
speak again.
messages. Hold on, what do I do? Bans. This user's not been banned from this channel. Hold on, watch this.
Well, what they send?
Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer a promotion of your channel,
bots?
viewers, followers, views,
Yeah.
chatbot.
That's the classic.
All right, dusting off my hands.
Post
right
the
now.
post the sin dancing gif. There we go.
Call it done.
Also, it sucks that I'm the moderator for this when it's like when I'm having to read stuff.
Hold on. I have my thing open. I need to figure out how to get into mod chat again. I haven't done this since.
I just fucking
years.
clicked on the guy and shot him.
Can I do that? Oh, wait, can I? I don't think I can.
No,
You
you click
can't?
on him, and then there's
Oh, no, I
options.
can.
You're the streamer.
I know I'm just streaming.
I
Man.
can't ban you!
I meant
It's
this
impossible! How do I ban you?
My dashboard or whatever. Okay, well.
I'm gonna mod you, and then you're gonna have to ban yourself, okay?
Don't cause any ruckus. Mod you? If you're good, I'll mod you this stream.
Smile.
You gotta behave well. Be on your best behavior, okay?
Especially. Drink the cocoa.
Is the audio leveling okay?
Could have checked these things in like the pre-stream.
No, I can't. I mean, like between me and you talking, I can't check that.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, you read this line, right?
I did!
Okay.
You wake before sunrise, as always. Oh, your head. You open your eyes and stare out the Cooper raccoon at your room, glowing with the dim pastel light of the stronghold that filters through your blinds. Your burgeoning? That is burgeoning.
Yep.
Burgeoning headache protests at even that meager intrusion of light, and you let out a gentle hiss in pain. You have got to stop trying to match drinks with girls 10 sweeps younger than you, especially when both the girls and the drinks themselves might be actively trying to kill you. After enjoying the darkness for a few moments more, you drag yourself out of the coop, relaxing as the slime inside may be, the antiseptic odor is threatening to make you sick. You grab your iScreen and set it to scroll through the messages you received overnight, along with your usual automated news feeds, looking for any headlines relating to the thefts. Attempted convenience store robbery ends in concession when perp slips in puddle of nacho cheese. Ramona Rockwell's priceless necklace stolen at ball. WrestleMania becomes Murder Mania. 12 dead. How far art thou, wench? You up? Been too long since we came to blows. Dotheth thou think? HMU girl, you know where I beeth? Okay, that last one wasn't a headline. Neither the next 11, where her spelling gets even more worse. Worse, ith? Oh, good heavens, you hate her for even making you think that. You button up your shirt and rub a comb through your hair, not concerning yourself with a few gray strands. You got a couple more leads to pursue.
Like me.
Okay.
Alright.
I think Bitcoin comes first.
I believe chronologically speaking, that is definitely the case.
Yeah, so let's do Bitcoin first.
Okay, dokie. Have fun, Blake.
I love Looney Tunes 89.
Me too, man. Back in Action 89.
Oh, I love
Nice.
talking.
Good
Your
call.
investigations yesterday didn't prove as fruitful as you'd hope, so today you're going to try something different. Sometimes arming yourself with facts or logic isn't enough. Sometimes you just have to go with what your gut tells you. You stride along the lonely streets of Stronghold 21. It's very late, and the time roaming somewhere around the mid-negatives, but you are more than used to the setting by now. In fact, you prefer it. There's a sort of peace to be found in the dead glow of morning. The city performs its... What the fudge? Yep, that one.
You're so close. Sinfonietta, I believe.
Whatever. As if by rote, all of an audience. What the fudge? All for an audience of one. I got it. Crosswalks spanning empty streets invite you with automated tones.
Wait.
Beep, beep, beep. At any other time, the street would be flashing multicolored mess. Neon signs and LCD panels would be fighting for your attention, peddling distraction after distraction. New fashions that will go from hot contour to discount rack and a sweep. The McRib is back at the steamed ham joint on the corner. Jarl Balgruff is in smash. You have limited understanding of what that last one means. Music plays distantly from various vacant storefronts, pop hits, and elevator jazz, all reverberating off the architecture in a square waves of pleasantly echoing sound. Every stronghold is eerily similar. They're all carefully partitioned and as sterilized as the multi-purpose slime solution that is used in the general cleaning aid by most of the populace. That solution is also the same one your species used to bathe in. It kind of burns when you use it for that purpose, at least at first. Easing into the pain, however, is simply a matter of practice. You're sure there's a solid metaphor you could be making here, something pertaining to the stakes held in this kind of industry, perhaps? But you digress. It may just be that primordial sludge you drank doing that talking, but recently you found yourself with a recurring feeling of being trapped, stuck, in an endless recycle of repetition. Like Repeton!
Rain World.
Not only recently, and not only as far as this case is concerned, but for your whole life.
Go westeth past the farmer race, bitch.
It started after you spoke to Ripite. The two suspects you've interrogated thus far have led you nowhere in exactly the same way. The same actions, same motions, same stuff on a different day. This will not be one of those days, you tell yourself. And yet, the nagging feeling that this amount to nothing but another blurry spot in a picture you're trying to piece together is something that makes your mouth press into a black lip scowl. A few of the stronghold residents are still wandering around. Those among them whose circadian rhythm is off kilter, you presume.
The frowner.
They're not paying close attention to your affairs, though. Some seem to be outright avoiding you. Just like when you hunted for Siraj. Just like always. You had to take a risk. On a whim, you decided to make arrangements with someone not part of your initial roster of suspects. You hassled a poor receptionist in the main corporate building to that end. The man has always been too anxious to say no to your requests. A few pointed calls later, and you scheduled to meet the mark after hours at one of his business's establishments in order to properly discuss your investment options. Little does he know that the so-called investment entails. There's nothing for you to gain here except knowledge. Knowledge, and a deep-seated sense of satisfaction whenever you inevitably pin this scuffy player to the board. You may believe in being clear-cut with many of your choices, but every now and again a surprise can be just what you need in order to advance towards a new stage of the game. The game in question is called Life, and you are about to knock another piece right off the table. Recall Bitcoin Crypto.
It's Usman's job. Oh my god.
Bitcoin Crypto. We're not spending literally 30 minutes waiting
do you
for...
not remember? Usman is not the choice maker.
Usman's the choice maker.
No, he's not. He resigned. He gave me the role.
He resigned? That's so rude.
Yes. This is established Snowbound Blood stream lore. What, are you not caught up? Go watch the VODs.
Go watch the VODs. You've had your scouter set on him for sweeps now, but you've never been able to catch him in the act. Well, anything. Not embezzlement, not fraud, not even good old indecent exposure.
Do you think?
I don't know what Bitcoin would ever do indecent exposure.
What do you think his power level's like?
His power level's at least 500.
Higher than Mr. Satan.
Yes, I think Bitcoin Crypto would probably take Mr. Satan.
Alright.
The slimy little rodent has always managed to give you the slip before you got the chance to inspect him for disease. All perps eventually mold themselves into some kind of allegorical vermin in your, quite bland of all things considered, imagination. But there's really no need to be going on such an inane tangent inside your own head. Who are you even explaining this to? Yourself? Says the character that's literally explaining everything. The point is, he is a giant rat that makes all the rules in his field. There, plain and simple. You know exactly what type of man he is. He started young, a regular con man. For many, it's the ideal pursuit in these trying times.
You just think when Cecily pictures like an apple in her head, you think she can see like the shading and the color or whatever? Or you think it's like a cartoon crayon drawing, like those fucking images? You think she cannot see the color, only the outlines for some reason? Who can imagine that? Who can only think in line work? Why is that image like that? Anyway.
Everybody wants more than they already have, and some even genuinely need it. Bitcoin doesn't strike you as the latter, though. He quickly rose to the ranks of scammers and cheats, the cache of gullible fools succulent and ripe for his taking. From the start in television and show business, he moved on to business and did not rest until he had a vice-like grip on the ebb and flow of currency. Now the public bows to his every financial whim, and not even corporate regulation seems capable of keeping him in check anymore. Cybercash didn't hold anyone's interest until Bitcoin was evolved, but in no time at all, he single-handedly expanded the market's relevance, from entirely worthless to an alarmingly massive phenomenon. Of the currently existing 5,786 or so forms of analog tender, he has either personally crafted or otherwise popularized roughly a quarter of the total sum. Whether or not all of these are still maintained is irrelevant. The bottom line is, this guy is minted. And with such a striking amount of equity on full display, he may very well be the highest bidder on a certain missing piece of history. Bust in.
Pulling up the
Hold
VODs
on,
in the background.
hold on.
Oh yeah.
Usman, do you see the character?
How do I?
We're gonna play a fun game before we do stuff here.
The button for that again?
It's one of them to hide the dialogue. Nope, not that one. You have 6 buttons to press. It's one of them.
Oh my god, I actually got rid of the save slots here, I think.
Help.
Options.
Help me!
Oh,
Help!
we are. Hides user interface. Okay.
Alright, it was a fun game. Do you know a character on this screen? Tell me what character it is.
You know 2 characters on the screen.
2 characters?
Yeah, just look on screen. You'll know, you'll when you see it.
Wait,
Hi, Reagan
wait.
and Mob.
Yes, Reagan and Mob.
There they are. I think you know 3 characters on screen. If I'm looking
There we-
correctly, way up at the top, I think that might be Sestro.
Actually, JPEG of Kakashi
Oh, true.
on the right.
Yep.
But they
There's also
drew fucking
Bald
horns on him.
There's also Bald Coin.
Moose ass horns.
We got Bald Coin, we got P Coin. Alright, which one are you investing in? Guys, what are you
I'm
investing
not
in?
investing in any of these, man.
Why not?
Hawk King.
You're not gonna vibe a moolah into
Hawk King.
Bitcoin?
That's all that says.
I know
Cook
Usman
Ching.
loves P-Coin. He was on the ground floor of P-Coin.
Wrath Coin.
Slime wallet. It's not even
Lust
coin.
coin.
Grim cum.
My favorite kind of come.
Alright.
You were so focused on recalling, or aggressively not doing that, as the case may be, that you didn't realize that you were pushing through the revolving door that lead to the Stronghold 21 currency dome. It's not your favorite hunting ground for white-collar crime, but it's certainly the most bustling. And just like clockwork, the noted trailblazers and easily sucker-to-like scramble and close in at the slightest hint of fresh blood. You can't make out any of the words these frantic two-piece suit types holler at you as you press forward. The electronic ringing of alarms, phones, and endless chatter all coalesce into a single wall of amorphous noise, and it makes you grit your teeth. Your head hurts. No matter, you've already spotted your target. When he told you to search for a sign of excellence, you were fully prepared to engage in a mutual bout of falsified identity. Wonder what characters do that. Cryptic statements such as this usually precede these exchanges. The suggestion to meet at a non-covert location did leave you apprehensive, but as you said, you've been in a risk-taking mood lately. You were not expecting was a bona fide electronic light show booth sitting smack dab in the middle of the complex's main floor. That monstrosity is even complete with a gaudy, headache-inducing, as seen on TV, flashing signs. Signs that can threaten to be continued, signs that could threaten the continued use of your weary eyes. You immediately start to regret this. He's sitting pretty behind his remarkably empty stand as you make your way to him, chin propped up on interlocked fingers. It's almost as if he laced the entire circle around himself with repellent. Oh boy. I don't like hearing it like that. Oh, they gotta hear the voice. Oh, you gotta hear the voice.
The voice. I'm waiting so long.
So long. Incredibly fearless. It's not that voice.
Oh,
It's a little too.
Bitcoin. How long has it been?
Oh, Bitcoin. This, people, the true player in our craft, as none of you dare lead from the master in the world unknown. Prepare to deploy one of your famed rugged coughs in order to draw his attention to you, as opposed to the non-existent audience he seems to be addressing at present. Bitcoin talks fast enough to cut that idea off before the phlegm even has a chance to reach your pipes. Don't worry, I just like to brag. Keeps the weak-willed away. Welcome to the club. Ah, yes, the club. Under your current fabricated persona, you concocted a cover story about wishing to join the ranks of this nasty little clique, bound together by the loose trappings of a frail economy as they are. Still, you feel a deep, soul-curdling revulsion at his words. You really do not care for the insinuation that Bitcoin and you are anything in the vicinity of peers. Cliques and clubs are never something you care to involve yourself with due to the simple fact. You like to win. On your own terms, by your own merit. And you do quite simply despise this man. The name is Bitcoin Crypto. Surely you know me from my places such as our official phone line and obviously by many adverts on television. Are you Miss Anon Yemenis? Yemnet? Yep, that one.
That's the name I've given to you, yes.
Exactly the voice you had before.
Blunt. I like that. It's very easy to formulate aliases in this world where the names can range from perfectly serviceable to absolute gibberish. They're all inherently meaningless. You typically tend to err on the side of indistinct mash of letters, something like Zirg, for example, and it always works. It was a purely tactical measure to come up with something a little more, stupid. After all, Bitcon spends most of his time mentally diving into pools of worthless metal, certainly not the sharpest tool in the box. You're not the biggest fan of undercover gigs. With what's on the line, though, you will try your darndest to seem as ignorant and non-threatening as possible. All in the name of your job, of course. Anon Yemis. I've been looking forward to our meeting of minds. I'm afraid that my office isn't exactly working in order at the moment, but this place is far better suited towards newcomers of the after-hours trade. Which, as those who are interested in said trade know, is slang for prime time to meet big stupid trolls. Big stupid trolls are you in for stupidly huge rewards, that is! So in the interest of your interest in being curt, let's not waste a moment more of your time with common courtesy. You seem to know exactly what you're about. We can get you started with the lower strings of tender. There are several light risk options you can deal with that haven't caught on yet. You never specified your price range, so I'm going to assume that you're broke. That's less than a problem here. No loops, no credit, no issue. No ideas, no risk. We could even hook you up with Netcoin mental copyright stocking plan right away. Easy peasy. Oh, this is going to be easier than expected. You could meticulously tap him out, slow dripping little pieces of information through an orderly conversation.
Oh!
Oh yeah! Just stand there and talk to him, each of you are wielding your respective personal quirks as you non-diegetic progress bar slowly fills itself in. If you learned anything from your first couple of suspects, that's exactly what you'll be forced to do now, for what it seems like an eternity that goes nowhere. You just have to prepare for the mental density that requires. You have absolutely no interest in dealing with this man for even a second longer than necessary. The reason you decided Bitcon even ranked on the suspect monitor in the first place is that you're well aware of the seedy underbelly these businesses usually breed. There's no shortage of those interested in sending this planet's marketplace so far into the black that it may as well be made of garbage. Oh, that's a moon, by the way. That's where they send all their garbage.
Yeah.
Dummies! You can't idly chat about these run-of-the-mill currencies. You'd be here all day. You have to go all in. You have to think like him. You have to try and go stupid. Dare to be stupid.
Oh, that won't be necessary.
The name change on the little dialogue thing? So good.
I have a much better idea of what I would like from this deal.
Oh, and what would that be?
Well, I'm not really clear on the specifics. That's much more your department. But if you were to ask me, I'm simply of the belief that all bright lights cast a...
You had a dramatic pause for good measure.
shadow.
Bitcon makes a vain attempt to hide a pointed smirk. His eyes are darting across the room as if he's trying to keep tabs on every single person in the vicinity. You have him. Hook, line, and sinker. In the past, you had to perform a fair number of mundane tasks for your job. Trawling through the bear market of Reputon's unmitigated disaster of an internet landscape probably ranks as one of the easiest so far. Picking up the lingo of the underground set tends to sling... What the fudge? Hold on, give me a second. Picking up the lingo the underground set tends to sling around is a natural consequence of your line of work. Expected, even.
You got it.
When you're constantly pulling stunts such as trailing bomb threats and putting a stop to unjust attacks on Mirthomaniac torture chambers... in Mirthomaniac torture chambers, it's kind of difficult not to. Those types love to use codenames when they speak. A single word that shows what they're about. Hermit and Noxious are two that you can think of off the top of your shot-for-shot intellect. They also don't like to speak in quirks, and are also fond of their respective codes. Shadow tends to probably refer to all kinds of under-the-table services, including specific types of cryptocurrency. At any rate, Bitcon gets your picture and takes the bait. He's suddenly much more excited about you as a client. Now that's direct service. Oh, this job never gets old.
Agreed.
Oh, there is absolutely a hidden place in the back. You know there is. You can't wait for him to say it. Please say it. You have to follow him and slink right off to the... Hold that thought! Don't touch that dial! I will see it to you that your needs are met. He casually flips his chair around from behind his gaudy little booth and just starts kicking his foot against the floor. Doesn't even seem rhythmic or like any sort of formal code, really?
My needs are currently sitting at a very stagnant place. Just what exactly are you trying to accomplish here?
What? Giving you just what you desire, of course! What, you want to see the dark side of this industry, don't you? A low, garbled hiss sound from below. Immediately, Bitcon stops his incessant tapping and tosses his chair to the side, beckoning you forward with beady eyes and that pinpoint grin. Huh, this is the way down. You realize he was speaking in a very literal terms as he ducks down and disappears from view. To say that this was nowhere near what you had in mind would be a gross understatement. You suppose this makes sense that a rat has his tunnels. Also, you really need to stop with the rat comparison. This guy doesn't even have a rat lucis on file. You don't think you can help it, on second thought. He just fits the bill way too well. You waste no time in tailing him. Apparently there's a sort of lock mechanism in this tile that springs open whenever a certain beat sequence is met. A relatively new security measure. This building was renovated recently, you recall. Doesn't seem to be a secret either. None of the couple hundred or so trolls in the library pay any mind to you as you inspect the opening. Your hunch is that this... Sorry, I thought that was a literal hunch. Your hunch is that this leads into one of the underground structures formerly occupied by the old brooding caverns and war colonies, long since repurposed. You need to see permits to be sure, though. Luckily, you don't have any kind of permit to be invited right into the lion's den. You have a special interrogation to start. A narrow, dimly lit chrome staircase leads you downwards as you slink off and close the tile behind you. Claustrophobia claws at you as soon as the hatch closes. You're forced to hunch, just keeping your horns from scraping at the ceiling. Your only guiding light is the murmur of surreptitious conversations and the dim bulbs lining the walls on the way down. A line starting at the very end of the stairs slowly comes into view. What in the world? There's so many people even doing down here in this dinky, cramped corridor. I've been waiting there for hours. This obnoxious chatter is just way too loud for such a small space. You make your way to the end of the steps, finally catching sight of Bitcon. It seems that he cut his way to the front of the room just as you're busy contemplating this hall's poor design choices. It also seems that he's quite the star within the crowd. He's shaking hands left and right, throwing around practiced smiles, and making lively conversation about stocks with multiple people. He's completely ignoring you. You shoulder past a cluster of trolls and the sound of indignant grunts and exclamations. He's well into the tirade about convincing some soul-sided jack-off to shoot their overpriced luxury car into space by the time you reach him. But Tish! You fix him with a glare. He simply grins at you. Bitcon adjusts his tie, which is to say, makes it look even more hastily tossed around his neck, the motion towards you a discreet entrance you hadn't noticed until now. He doesn't wait for you to follow him before spinning his heels and entering the room. The line scooches to the side for you, but they seem to be less enthused by your presence than they were with his, probably out of jealousy for your VIP treatment, rugged looks, and charming personality. That, or the fact that the outsiders tend to be looked down upon by any sort of close-knit community. Really, it's either or. You don't particularly care about the specifics when you are this far into the search for a lead. Look, there's people!
People!
But Bitcon will always be fudging in frames, so you're not going to see all of them.
Yeah, this is the best you get.
The bunker you've led into is much more your speed to the messy, frantic runabouts happening on the floor above, or the crowd you left behind. A lukewarm and hazy atmosphere permeates the room, with every patron either paying you no mind at all or carefully watching your every move. You're better accustomed with this more miserable kind of company. It's an acquired taste, but you much prefer to dance on floors like this, among the anonymous, and shifting and the spotlight dodgers.
There's something to be said about your customer service that I can't quite put my finger on.
Now, let's not jump from blunt to hasty. I'm Mingle. Every person here has been my client at some point or another. I am very cool and popular. So cool and popular, in fact, that I was able to snag a nice little private room just for the two of us. This way, we'll be able to comfortably discuss what exactly you want from my services. Impressed?
It's so very thoughtful of you to do exactly what your job requires. If I didn't know any better, I would even call you a gentleman.
Oh no, I am not. I'm absolutely nothing of the sort. People familiar with the trade are particularly saying about the kind of man I am. You repress your urge to root around your pan for more rat-based metaphors.
I can't say I know exactly what that would be. I'm very new to this.
Is that so? Because as far as I can tell, you seem very old and very tired. So why don't you follow along, cut the BS, and tell me all about what you actually think of me. Cecily. He once again moves too fast for you to come up with your answer, casually pulling your arm around your shoulders and dragging you to the nearby dividend confessional. It's narrower than a stairwell, and a high ceiling with 2 built-in slabs against the side walls for seats. You feel as though you have no room to breathe. Your own coat might as well be a noose tied around your neck. Bitcon, on the other hand, seems perfectly accustomed to it. In fact, he looks downright expectant. Well, if that's how he wants to play it, who are you to disappoint? You prepare to start your usually questioning routine, as you are well established to do by now. Go ahead and state your business, Miss Yopar. This thing is 100% soundproof, guaranteed.
How did you know it was me?
That's a really piss-poor question. You know that, right? I'm not the most formidable opener. What you should be actually asking is, how could I not know it was you? Your intuition must be as bad as your fake names.
From the outside looking in, you seemed like nothing more than an adult who's had one too many easy streaks.
Easy steaks.
Easy steaks. I thought you
Yum.
would buy it.
Eat the hell out of an easy
Also,
steak.
must you bring out that voice every single time you try to make a point? It's grating on television, it's grating through text, and it's grating coming out of your mouth right now.
What can I say? I'm a big fan of my voice. I like to project! But to further expand on your previous point, let's talk a bit more about one of my favorite subjects. Me! Surely you're more familiar with how this works, Cecily. I have people just as you have people. Informants, assistants, a whole 1,000 expanses. Oh, I just so happen to have mine bundled up into a single convenient little intern package. Oh, so one person. Honestly, I have no idea what you even wanted to do with me until this morning, but they traced the call back to your headquarters. You've been on my, you've been my...
Oh my god, Bitcon, you okay?
Ugh! You have to be on my tail on account of that old blood. Both ours and the one you're chasing after, of course. As mired as we are in deliberate misinformation and fake news, it's still not too hard to read between the lines and find out what's really going on. I never bought into any of that warped ancestral mumbo jumbo on the media tries to feed us, but it seems as though you're in need of someone to implicate at this point. And who better than yours truly? You know, with the way your reputation precedes you, it's a wonder you're not as famous as me, Cecily.
I've gotten that a lot recently. What I actually need is for this case to be solved, and I'm already sick of going to someone only to find they don't have any answers. I'm hearted, hungover, and hellbent, so forgive me if I sound a bit short at the moment. Seems like you've been waiting for me to make a move, even though I could catch you before.
No.
Never catch you. If you wanted to speak with me so badly, you could have spared us both the trouble and done so by now.
Catching and spreading, catching and spreading.
I can't fucking read today.
I tried to keep it together for that line, but I just couldn't. Okay.
I would have been happy. This happens way too soon. No, why? I didn't read it. Fuck. Whatever.
Scroll up. Just scroll up.
How do I do the history thing? Maybe.
Scroll up.
Alright, I can scroll up. My fucking mouse wheel's broken!
Fine.
I would have been happy to either take you in or watch the blood drip from your chest. This song and dance number you put me through was completely unnecessary.
What if you press page up?
Where is my page up key? Oh,
Oh shit.
there
Oh
you go.
shit.
Okay.
Oh, you're here now, though. And isn't that what matters? Besides, I do enjoy a healthy amount of showmanship. Some glitz, some glamour, some pizzazz. But if an interrogation is what you want, Mr. Yopara, I'm an open market. Before we start it all up, however, you still have to riddle me this. What do people call me? You find yourself resigned. For once, you forced to bend to someone else's will. That's right. Crypto's narrating it now. Brought down to their level, quite literally. You made a mistake in underestimating an experienced hustler, a dealer with no limits. A con artist knows exactly how the system falls into place. A kind you're no stranger to tagging along with. To tangoing with. Yep, you know what? I'm close enough.
It's just on being unable to read stream.
I don't know about you guys. I'm having a
A thief.
great time.
Dude, it's crazy how many line reads Usman has gotten right this stream.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Not a single
Yeah.
mistake.
Perfect streak.
Keep it going.
Real. This is your line, by the way.
I read it!
Okay.
Alright.
Bingo! Corner cop!
Oh, fuck. Let's
What's
assume
the implication? It's the implication!
We gotta talk about the implication.
Seems like you have a deeper understanding of this case than you should.
Can I be real, Lyna? Every time you saw have in this stream so far, you've replaced it with have had. I don't know why.
I don't think it would be a stretch to assume a swindler of your caliber may have had something to do with this theft.
You don't say. Fascinating theory, regulator. Consider getting a production company on the horn. If you need an agent, I once met the handsome gentleman in the mirror. You consider deploying a nasty burn involving his looks, but he already barely takes you seriously without any half-baked flimsy insults thrown in the ring.
Give me one good reason not to make you kiss your assets goodbye.
I'll do you one better, as a matter of fact. Apply for one boon, get one free. God, you scoundrel. Here's one made to order. Prove it! In this sphere, we take facts in spades. Do you have any evidence of my involvement? I would think you have plenty of time to practice since your last attempt. So I'm a thief. Big deal. There's a surplus of them all around us, and we're getting the overstock savings. No shortage at all. It just so happens to be that once you're the most experienced with what the fudge, I just so happen to be the one you've had the most experience with thus far. Oh, that one stings for multiple reasons. He's right, regrettably. You haven't been doing a spectacular job on proving your point, so you hold your tongue. Let him keep talking. Bait him into more conversation until something spills.
Just roll over the mistakes, says chat member. You know what? I'm going to run over anyone who makes a mistake. We have a one-strike policy now. If you make a mistake, I'm running you over.
I'm gonna be a dead man in 3 lines.
I'll get ready.
You wait for his second point, and he better not be taking your silence as defeat. As for my next number, you're in my arena, personally tailored to my needs, wants, and desires. Consider the following. Consider the following. 2 people have walked deep into this little neck of the blow-up foliage clump. Don't you think it would be a mite suspicious if only one of them were to walk out? Or, perish the thought, escorting the other out in handcuffs? Funny how he thinks he has any chance of being calmly escorted out in handcuffs, fully conscious. There were quite a number of eyewitnesses, Cecily, and us currency enthusiasts are very observant.
What makes you think I'd simply stop my investigation and leave you if you did not turn out to be involved?
Sorry, Lyna, we're running you over.
Oh yes, let me be a stationary target for you to catch at your leisure. Now that we got to know each other a little better. Same time and place tomorrow.
Sounds lovely. Every word you say makes me more enthusiastic about the prospect of driving a blade into your chest.
What leaves his mouth can only be described as a parody of genuine amusement. It might have been convincing if you weren't dedicated to detecting minor behavioral quirks.
If you're done stroking your ego.
Absolutely not. But carry on, regulator. Prove my guilt.
I...
It's hard to admit that you're only here because of a gut feeling. I'm getting run over now. Yeah. But you know for a fact that he'll be able to deflect any woolly evidence you attempt to pull over his eyes. On the subject of eyes, you swear the longer you stare into his stupid suit, the more internal matrices treats it as some form of optical illusion.
Alright, Blake, we're running you over.
I've already been run over twice. Ugh! Huh, that's what I thought.
Need to remind you that I've been chasing you for some time. BitsCon. Don't think I can only take you in for charges relating to this case.
Like BitchCon.
Oh, you couldn't keep me out of the picture if you tried. Those are very bold words coming from someone whose continued existence you don't care for in the slightest.
I'm dying to know what could possibly make you think that.
I hold a very special place in my hearts of many. I'm this close to having a valuable autograph. So if my blood were to stay in your hands on account of a mere gut instinct, if you were to kill a planet-wide hero simply because his questionable involvement in a nebulous web of responsibility, financially stability drops these prices. Like these prices. Shadow loops crash like clumsy avians. Values skyrocket and plummet simultaneously. A power vacuum opens wide, and every loop-grubbing, moolah-twindling entrepreneur with a half-baked plan and no charisma to speak of tries to fill in the void. The people's hearts are broken. Cyber markets go stagnant. Miners slave away without purpose. He stands tall and proud through his spiel. Well, without warning, he rests his hand on his forehead and swoons hopelessly against your shoulder. The curly branch of his horn threatens to snag your coat. Cecily, think of the economy!
I get it. You're very popular and the world has horrid taste in heroes. Now stop touching me before I turn you into a skewered rodent.
Skewer.
Bitcon springs away from you like a drunken slinky, clearly lost in his own amusement. Like this comment. Unfortunately, I've already made my point. You're only here because he's a fixture on your list of permanent subjects. Yes, my subject! List of permanent suspects, even if you can't draw an immediate connection between him and this case at the moment.
Hi. What's up, Usman?
What's up?
Your voice getting tired?
Yep, it's really tough out here.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten run over yet, so that's pretty good.
Huh. Proud of you. Naturally, as the host and showrunner, I don't have any line reads, so I'm immune.
You're not immune, you just don't have line reads.
No, I'm immune.
No, you're not immune, you just don't have line reads.
Well, how are you so certain that I can be run over?
What do you mean? Of course you can be run over.
Uh-huh. How about you try and prove that?
But why can't you be run over, huh?
Because it hasn't been proven.
What? What? Look. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence.
Okay. Well, look. Who are you to
So
judge? You've
we
already
must
been
assume
run
that
over.
you can be run over.
You don't have to assume anything. What is this? What is this hypothesis?
Ray can be run over.
Go ahead, test it. I've already said to test it.
Well, I can't test it right now. It's not fitting.
Okay. So you need a motive, is what you're saying.
Well, it's not a motive. It's like you can't just like break the rules like that, you know?
What rules?
Well, you have to misread a line. You don't have lines,
Oh.
so
Alright, fair enough.
you know, it's up in the air.
True. If I'm immune, then I cannot be run over. I mean, that's what I'm trying to argue, but I got proven wrong, so...
No, I didn't prove you wrong.
Oh my god, why? Walking back the validity of your own claim.
I didn't prove you right either, though.
You just proved me.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I would
Pretty soon
appreciate it
I'm
if
gonna
you
pave
didn't
you.
prove me again.
I'm gonna pave you over.
Okay. So you're gonna run me over with like a what? Like a paver? A road paver?
Yeah.
Car immunity goes hard in the modern era. What I
Pouring
wouldn't give them a
asphalt all
car
over your body.
resistance. Dude,
After
I would love
run
to
you
be
over.
submerged in asphalt.
I'd love to be immune to cars in real life.
Same.
Imagine you could just like walk in the street.
Oh, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Me crossing a road. Usman, what would you do if you could cross a street? You could walk in a street.
Not much probably. Imagine
live
all the
such a
fucking
boring
accidents that would
life.
happen when the guy in the car fucking sees you and swerves.
That would be so
And hits
funny.
His name's
though.
Walker.
10 more people.
Jay Walker.
What's the J stand for?
Stands for
Juvie.
Jay.
J? Like just the letter or Jay?
Both.
Okay. Sounds good. What would you do for immunity?
You know,
Name's Jay,
Cecily,
but I
I've
go
been
by
wondering.
Jay for short.
If I smash my head into this wall 18 times, am I gonna have blood come out?
Most definitely.
No.
Alright, watch me do this.
Really light slams.
You'll need to bait him into spilling something a bit more illegal. Catch him in a, a rat trap. Thank you. You've been here for a little, you'll be here for as little time as possible because of his overbearing cologne is threatening to nullify your sense of smell.
Let's look at that shadow currency.
Shadow currency.
Evil money.
Evil money. For the purposes of preserving the illusion of choice without inferring that this is a non-linear sequence of events, let's say you're an ambiguous amount of time into this. You're in such an amount of time into this that his grating voice is making you regret ever picking up that digested mixture of disgusting mixture from Siraj. Your headache is beyond dissatisfied with today. You just want to get him talking. But how?
I take it you'd refrain from giving me an actual answer if I condescendingly asked you why you're so passionate about analog to tender in the first place.
Oh, you feign hurt feelings, yes. And then keep my lips sealed. But, do you know what I take very kindly to? Praise so sweet it bores on sickening. Oh, for crying out loud.
I have no interest at all in trying to appeal to you.
Oh, and here I was ready to get it be all buttered up. I might have even let something slip in my euphoria-induced celebration.
Why is he like that?
He's fishing for compliments. You can't believe this man is fishing for compliments. You've gathered that he's a ridiculously vain at this point, but this is just here goes.
Well, there's really nobody better to ask than the rising star of the business world, I guess. An individual who is just so much more knowledgeable than me in all matters economic. So please, Mr. Crypto, answer me this. Why do you have such a fascination with this chaotic cryptocurrency catastrophe?
Oh, it's hard to be a fan of your alliteration. I'll tell you everything. It all started with a reduplicated marvel. Going from the role of humble virtual handshaking con man to the popular television extraordinaire on screens everywhere. And into the unstoppable profession in front. And into the unstoppable professional right in front of you. You know the name like you know your own mind.
We have a chat member that desperately wants to learn about Pcoin.
Well, The thing about P-Coin is it was one of my earlier ventures.
You know what? You're
I
right.
knew that there was an ironic market for the taking after a certain bunch of trolls approached me about ironic coins and such. So I decided to oblige, thinking of a name so simple that it could be mistaken for something else. That was how P-Coin was born.
I get the feeling I just wasted several undeserved compliments.
Yes, you did. But wait, there's more. Your ears are in turmoil right now.
Do us both a favor and make it snappy. Then, perhaps use an inside voice if you're feeling benevolent.
I don't need to share my life story with you, you know. I have an autobiography for sale. Pre-order now before they fly off the shelves. I'm gonna give that turnin' fellow a run for my money. Mark these words.
We're done talking about shadow currency then. Are you happy with plugging yourself and moving on?
Of course not. He exudes the aura of one of those ridiculously and greasy monorail supervisors, which applies even as he's taking a seat. He'd probably kick his feet up if he could. You know this because he's taking advantage of you declining to recline by using your own seat as his footrest. Tell me, Cecily, do you ever wish things would stay the same? Boring, stagnant? Forever trapped in mundanity and tediosity?
This feels like a trick question. I'll refrain from answering.
Oh, please, who could possibly feel like every day was exactly the same? It would be torture! The worst possible outcome! Don't let that happen to you! There's a lull in his little speech. This is starting to get away from you, but you can't help but being a bit curious about this man, of all people. Seems to be getting into a bout of intense contemplative navel-gazing. He's been thinking for too long, though. You'll know his non-committal hum of interest to kick him into gear again. There's something thrilling about always being kept on your toes, isn't there? Nothing quite like the adrenaline rush to remind you that you're making the most of life.
The adrenaline of walking to the tightrope of terribly unstable system, which threatens to implode on itself at any moment.
What the fuck? No, I don't want to do that.
As much as you're pouring your soul into making that sarcastic question, you'd be a hypocrite if you said you weren't the one for constant brushes with death.
His tie is awesome, you're just mad.
Thank you.
You'd not further examine the thought that the two of you might have something in common.
Well, the Paisley
And winning, of course! Glorious, triumphant victory! You'd be a fool to not love winning.
Yes, I've dabbled in the concept. How does this tie into shadow currency?
Because with shadow currency, I know how to win. For example, Wrathcoin is up! But with my keen knowledge of the system, I'd advise you to find a middle ground coin to ensure you don't crash and burn when buying big, or just go for the cheapest option available.
E-coin.
Might I suggest to you,
Ooh.
Lust Coin? It's been lying dormant, but that just means it's well overdue for a comeback in a big way!
P-coin mentioned!
Well, I'm sure you'll see. Or actually, no, you probably won't. It's not for you. Forget I said anything. You briefly consider feeling insulted, but decide against it in the end. You simply slump further down in your seat. You really do not care about these obscure internet shenanigans all that much. You're positive you're just gonna get more. You're positive you're just going to get more of a chasm full of it down the line anyway. You're done with this topic. Next.
Potential bribe.
Potential bribe.
Potential bribe.
It doesn't take a criminally overdeveloped think pan to come up with the conclusion that Bitcoin seems to like money. Hell, he'd probably change his name to Money if he could. He may be sitting on the top slice of the underworld, but everybody bleeds. And whenever a wound threatens to leak loops, you suspect he smells it from a long distance, just like the rest of those ankle biters.
I'm sure you're familiar with the pricelessness of the stolen goods I'm trying to track down. There must be a market of customers willing to pay a pretty ring for that kind of inventory. Collectors, megalomaniacal scientists, perhaps even cultists. Don't suppose you've been in the know about precise amount of dough it would take to get your hands on dirty with ancient artifacts.
Oh, what was that?
He looks more and more engaged every time you slide in additional synonym for coinage across the metaphorical table.
With the Freudian slip.
Oh, I have no doubts at all regarding
How
the
is
value
that
of our little
Freudian
glass
slip?
bottle filled with limey life juice. It's funny how such a small item can have such a large impact, hmm?
In truth, it can only be considered small if you refuse to look at the big picture.
Chaos everywhere! Confide to your experts of a trustworthy evaluation today!
And what would your evaluation be?
In expected turn of events, Bitcon insists on making a show of things, a theme with many that many professions of your kind tend to run with. He pointedly clears his throat, like he's about to announce the winner of a brand new vehicle. You don't bother getting your hopes up about that one, though. Such a rare and mystical relic of the past! It might have been doubted at first, especially by a sensible individual such as myself. But if people got a whiff of Schmorperit's involvement, you'd be the richest troll on the planet! 50,000 contenders, one champion to rule them all! I'm of course speaking on hypotheticals only, as someone who has no previous interaction with the item in question. And as someone who could sell a single shoelace for $1,000 on a bad day. Excellent, you've established a potential motive. A motive besides would swindle a preschooled grub out of a cracker for fun, that is.
Can you post the link? Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Interesting.
Celestine like fucking really ponders that line.
The peace
Huh.
point quote.
Because I think there's a very real possibility you could have paid a much smaller fee for the collection of an item marketed as significantly less important. Taking advantage of the thick cloud of mystery and obscurity surrounding something all but non-existent in the eyes of the public.
He says it before you can. Huh, seems like a classic Bitcom move, doesn't it? It's sickening how he wears that accusation with pride. Sorry to disappoint. Sorry, not sorry to disappoint. But that's a little too ambitious. There's no way I'd be able to hide the value of such a hard seller.
How so?
Corporate certified stamp of approval, a genuine article of history. It was transported in a heavily fortified truck, right in the middle of a conspicuously blank tundra turf. No grunt worth his minerals would break in and out of there without realizing its importance. Try again. Try another! Seems like you're incapable of flexing your finest accusatory muscles right now. You just can't even win the draw for a clueless moron when you need it, can you? The draw! Try another!
I
You
wouldn't
missed
put it
that one,
past a
Cecily.
few lower rung members. Alright. I wouldn't put it past a few lower rung members of corporate to be swayed by a potential bribe.
Low in contrast to people like Cestro, of course, but still high enough to know about something that caused this much of a dreadful stir. Never in a million sweeps would you believe that corporate's slogan truly applies to every last individual listed in its records. There's obviously a weak link somewhere if information was leaked. There is, without question, some schmuck up in the big top who's not doing their job properly. Not a terribly difficult conclusion to come to. But if I knew who they were, I would be able to take so much more, so much earlier on. Hypothetically speaking, of course. He's quick to tack that last part on, so as not to implicate himself too strongly. The end result is equivalent to trying to make a dumpster more palatable by throwing a single bottle of perfume inside.
Do tell me if you happen to find out who the blabbermouth is.
Likewise.
Really? That's it?
Patrick. That's it?
Mr. Krabs, that's it?
Mr. Squidward, that was not cool.
That's the lost episode? That was just a bunch of cheap walk cycles.
The scowl plastered across your face intensifies by several degrees. Again, there is silence. And again, there is Bitcon, staring at you with unbridled eagerness. Alas, both your time and mental capacity have been exhausted. On the telltale grin, that same fudging smile, every single time. Sounds like a clear message. You've lost. Nothing else? No comments, no quips, japes, jests, jabs, otherwise irrelevant quarrels. Good. His hand rasped against the side of the box you both spent the better third of a root in. and the door automatically races open. You sit there and continue to say nothing. A numbness spreads through your body. Bitcon seems confused for a brief moment, but shrugs it off easily enough. You imagine disregarding the emotions of others as business as usual for him. You wish you could claim that he's fallen into your trap, and that you've plotted for him to lower his guard around you, which is never something one should do, if one enjoys their continued state of being alive. As it stands, you're just a very good improviser. You say turned back, and in a split-second decision, launch yourself out of the confessional like a bat out of hell. Your fencing hand is quick to draw, and once with motion, Bitcon has a very sharp edge pressing against his neck.
I don't care for your pathetic excuses anymore. I want an airtight, legitimate alibi right now. Unless you want to become intimately acquainted with the smell of fresh, cerulean blood mixed in with that foul cologne of yours.
Unsurprisingly, this catches the attention of all the other patrons around you. Also, if you want to see the back shot of all the patrons.
The what, Blake?
The back shot.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
back
think I
shot.
want to see that.
I meant the background shot.
Blake
Just the
investing
ground
in
of
Lust Coin.
Slightly more surprisingly, every last one of them draws their weapons, and the respective stripes specified aim a concerning variety of lethal tools of the trade your way. Downright shocking is how Bitcon doesn't even so much as tense his shoulders. Rasputin extracts a solitary thin blue droplet from his throat, and he stares at you, unfazed. He doesn't simply believe it. He knows he has the support of every last person in here. Your ears pick up the ragging breathing of some who sound very loyal and very trigger-happy. See, Sestro, your hearing is completely untouched. Don't worry about it. You try your best to hold on to your professional composure, but Bitcon's smiling like he just saw you throw a temper tantrum. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. Looks like you really are down on your luck. Remarkable. You don't take kindly to him talking down to you. Like you're even more of an amusing science experiment that your species already is. When you press your blade harder against his skin, you hear several guns cock. Now, everyone calm down. Yes, this means you too, Greedy. Dappus, take care of them, will you? All he has to do is wave his hand dismissively, and the entire mob goes complacent. You are forced to concede this round and lighten up just a little. Only a bit. Again. Let me just breathe for a second, and then come with me. We'll get your orderly documents. It won't take long. I know how much you value your time. You have no idea what he's talking about. More code, probably. But just as you try to justify it, you can't bring yourself to turn him down. Not when he's thoroughly embarrassed you like this. You sheath your rapier as he motions for you to resume your role at his tail. You don't say rat tail. Don't say rat tail. He's quick to guide you past the crowd and around the corner of the room. Oh, he's leading you into the supply closet now? Great, I'll displace the confessional and aided smell of janitorial duties.
Genital duties.
The door clicks shut and his voice touches significantly. You're starting to like this closet a little more.
Genital duties like pee? Like pee coin?
E-coin.
Alright, you want an alibi? Fine, I'll give you an alibi. It's not like I'm actually guilty. I have hobbies, passions, things I do outside of causing a ruckus downtown. You suppose it's his turn for dramatic pause. You patiently wait for him to continue. You see, on the night of the incident, I was with
E-coin.
the boys.
The boys mentioned, finally.
Boys.
You don't know why he's looking at you like you're supposed to know who the boys are. He cannot possibly be serious about resting his case on that sentence alone.
The boys?
Ah, you must be wondering about our killer team name.
Not really.
I came up with it while I was waiting for them on a bout of steamed hams. I knew that they had an excellent name, for the sake of regaling our tales of outsiders, you see, but it was a darn conundrum at the time. As soon as I saw them approach, though, I stood up and said, "What's up, boys?" And then the entire restaurant cheered. Everybody went absolutely insane. It was like a liberation of an oppressed group somewhere. I'm pretty sure I got a medal, if I recall correctly. It's been a while. You fall into stunned silence. It seems like you have finally succeeded in feeling insulted.
You expect me to take you at your word, just like that? You genuinely expect me to let you off the chain because you got some fucking slob with a few friends? This is bullshit.
Oh, yes. But it's good BS!
Your incredible tale doesn't even remotely give you an alibi. You could have still dipped your toes into the deep end of an organized burglary earlier.
Cecily? Cecily, are you,
Hello?
you okay here? I need an audience for my swagger.
Help!
You want me to pour some Windex in your mouth?
It hurts.
No, I'm okay, thank you.
Alright. Keep going.
How could I possibly be expected to trust you?
Don't just take my word for it. Here's a message from our trusted sponsor. His trusted sponsor is apparently a slip of paper advertising one of Endari Vernier's whimsy and horoscopes. I know you can't take my word. I'm well aware of what my reputation does for me on that front. That's why I'm passing you along to one of the boys. Endari can vouch for me. We're very close. And also, this is for good luck. But he hands you next to a small photograph of himself. It's signed on the back. In it, he has an exact same expression he's giving you right now, in the flesh. It also perfectly matches the expression when he's on television, or any marketing you've ever seen him in, now that you think about it.
And why exactly am I taking this?
Well, hold on a second. If our dear old host could press the H button to hide the UI, I want to show you something kind of funny. In the bottom left corner, you can see Tarn and Kai. This will be interesting later. If not for good luck, then consider it as an invitation to find me again. If I'm wrong, I'm sure you'll come back and finish the job. Easily. Results guaranteed!
Fine.
There's nothing appealing about the concept of shaking this man's hand. Leveling the playing field between you two makes it sick to the stomach, but you have no choice other than to trust him for now. The fact that he's willing to put himself on the line proves that he's at least trying to earn your trust as well.
I'll be seeing you very soon if you're wrong. Tell your people to keep an eye out.
Pleasure doing business with you, Cecily. I'm really sorry this didn't go as you planned. But we have a saying in business when that happens.
It's just business.
No. Better luck next time, chump! Loops.
What? No way. Our narrator taking time off once again.
Taken by the loop.
It's done a definitely lengthy trip out of the currency dome, which you used on a chance to... What the fudge? Which you use the chance to think. You always ruminate when you have what the fudge? I need to read this line again. It's a decently lengthy trip out of the currency dome, which you use as a chance to think. You always ruminate when you have to walk. And right now, you're thinking, F today. You're starting to feel less hungover, but even more like an absolute buffoon. You completely failed to dupe an exasperating customer, and he gave you nothing useful to boot. Just like the last time, as you feared. You have nothing to show for any of this other than the faint wisp of a lead that ended in a closed-off alley, to the sound of a laughing audience pointing directly at your catastrophic failure. Going with your intuition alone was a mistake. Sometimes a gut feeling really is just a feeling. You shouldn't have taken upon yourself to simply assume you were right. You got hasty. You got impatient. Borderline incompetent. And that's not you. You make a promise to yourself. You need to be better. You will be better. You are getting results starting tomorrow, even if it's just confirming or denying the involvement of a rat once and for all. No more screw-ups. No more dead ends.
Wow.
Look at him. Breaking! Lustcoin brings sexy back with exponential trade volume growth for the...
Incredible.
Amazing. You gotta give me a second.
Me too. I'm gonna use the restroom after I load up the next thing. Blah 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 blah.
How long is Husk Maze gonna take?
Who's voicing this
Not
person?
that long. Me.
Husk Maze is gray.
Me.
which means I gotta do less lines. But also, I'm
You're the narrator.
Usman has
dude,
some lines
fucking
at the end.
BitCon is so fun to do.
Yeah. I'll be right
Did
back.
I voice like the British accent guy?
The British accent guy,
Yeah.
Calder.
Yeah. Calder's
Is
not
are
a
you thinking
Snowbound
about in
last.
Vast Era or are you thinking about Homestucker?
And this.
Yeah, it's Calder.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully that person, not someone else, have to make a fucking voice for.
We're so good at being entertainers.
Yeah. Just realized that this is being streamed. I'm making. Wait. On the stream, doesn't that like house like a face? And it's
Yeah,
like
it
the very
does.
center,
Little
staring at
little
you.
little eyes, and there's like a very wide smile.
Oh
And it
yeah,
has a
okay.
nose.
I thought the bright spot was the mouth, but the very wide
Oh
smile
no
times
no no!
two.
I'm back.
The bright spot is definitely the nose.
That's
Looking
true.
at-
Little face on the tower in the middle.
Oh, true.
Bottom left is a good face too.
Hold on, let me really. Oh, that is a good face. The winker. Okay. Blake, read this line.
No.
No.
Oh, Blake is AFK still. Okay.
I'm not AFK. I'm munching on a couple of foods.
Oh, the eater.
Couple of
The
nuts.
big eater. Should have muted.
Oh well.
Oh well, sorry.
Well, sorry.
My bad. That's on me.
You're bad.
Oh, my
It's
fault,
on
gang.
you. All your fault.
My fault, gang.
What is a white noise's wife's name called? Wife name. What is his wife's name?
Wife noise.
Wait.
Wife noise.
That is what I was gonna say. I agree.
What does wife noise sound like?
Oh, heavens. All she ever said.
What does boner sound like?
Boner?
Mm-hmm.
Blake's Skeletor voice.
I have a boner.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So fucking hungry.
Those characters are permanently linked.
Don't trust anybody. That is what Hammerfeet told you.
Usman, just get some food. You got the entire route until the end.
You're not voicing
Yeah.
someone for a while, but you're also not gonna get any of the plot.
Let's go. Just fucking arm down.
Okay,
It's fine.
okay. An inting, whatever.
You've heard nothing new from her, Sestro, and nothing new from the mysterious voice in your ear either. But you're sure you got that ominous tip, and Hectrix is crazy if she thinks you're just gonna ignore it.
Never mind, I apparently got a line right now in flashback mode.
But
Well-
think of a voice.
Just like your evil villain.
This is Gasman.
My line?
Yeah,
This
this
is your
it.
line.
Oh. Shit. What do we? What's this guy's?
This is like a flashback version of the line.
2 days.
Perfect.
I don't think that's what the deal is. Listen. Oh, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what voice I did. I just remember his
Doesn't
deal.
matter.
Yeah.
I wanted to do him with a
Listen.
soft voice. I want to be like, oh, listen close, Cecily.
Listen close.
There we go.
Close.
Lois.
Alright.
It's lowest lane. It's lowest lane. Okay?
Activation
Lowest lane.
phrase. Alright.
Lower.
Your
Or
2 days
going
are up,
down
and the
lane.
time is fast approaching. You decide to pay the idyllic acres a visit. You had an archivist back at the office, terrified of you, always useful as an asset, put together in a file in that place. There wasn't much on hand in the regulatory, as it happened. Mostly second-hand, internal accounts. Nothing well known, only rumors. Farm that provides corn for various uses. High-quality product, proprietors reclusive. Weekly pickup takes boxes and leaves loops. Travelers have reported chanting at night, the voices of children. Spooky. Things are only spooky when there's something to hide. You want to cover up a smuggling operation? Start wearing robes and sing honestly at dusk. And trolls who are more superstitious will give you a wide berth. Hard to blame them, really. Cults have been getting unusual as of late. There's nowhere a chief regular fears to tread, however. You repeat this to yourself as you squelch your boot in the sticky puddle by accident while crossing the street to your motorbike, fearlessly. The walls of the stronghold, pristine white on the inside, comfortably graffitied on the out, give way to authorized exurbs. The exurbs give way to sprawling shanties. Finally, the slums give out, and not a single beggar or burnout is to be seen on the lowly road. You head south from the urban sprawl and out to the boundless expanse of farmland. It takes an endless amount of crops to satisfy public demand for processed food, and even more endless hectares of which to grow them. Most of the newer fields have no buildings or troll presence at all, and worked only by prototype co-brand drones, all shiny plastic. Perfectly parabolic curves. The rollout has been rather slow and arduous affair, despite Hemifi's relentless insistence on efficiency. Sestro has been reluctant as ever, and not without good reason. Further automation, putting already impoverished laborers out of work altogether, could turn nasty very, very efficiently indeed. That's how it's always been between them. One ruthless, one guilty, one scathing, one mournful. The Ouroboros of angst and paranoia. Acting, then, regrettably. Breaking, then rebuilding. Sowing, then reaping, you think. As a lonely red bark peeks out from between the cornfields and rolling hills you've navigated for the past few hours.
The bark house.
The bark glory.
It's pretty well hidden all the way out here. You would have missed it if you didn't know where it was. You stop the bike at the bend in the road and scope out the place for a bit with your overhead. The blurry forms of small figures scramble on the horizon, as though they're being marshaled in the barn one by one. Looks like they spied you first. Oh well, so much for the element of surprise.
Fuck, I gotta voice this motherfucker soon.
You check that your pistol is loaded and adjust both your swords, scabbards at your hip. The tall fields of corn can still cover your approach. As you draw near to the barn, something catches your eye at the corner. Just briefly, you turn to see what it could be, but there's no sign of anything around. There's just a hectare upon vaguely creepy hectare of corn waveling idly in front of you. The wind rushes through with a rasping, whistling sound. It was probably nothing. You pull your gaze out from between the corn stalks and continue on toward the entrance to the barn. As you quickly close the remaining distance, you see the door open. Your sword head instinctively moves just to hang shy of Prosperpina fudging end my life. Prosperpina's hilt. It's a reflex, one that you've honed through many long sweeps of intense, anticipatory gestures, countless hours of practice. You don't mind saying it. That sword hand hover is your pride and joy. Whoever and whatever comes out through the doorway, you are more than ready for it. A small child stands before you. You're the child. You're the child. Pickaxe in hand, they bar the entryway with both arms stretched as wide as they can go. Oh, the cord! The cord just to my throat. Oh! Which is admittedly not very far. They can't be older than 5 or 6 sweeps at most. Suffice to say that you are not ready for this.
Hello.
Oh fuck, I gotta do the voice.
You don't know how to talk to kids. The young troll just stares at you.
Do not be alarmed, child. I am here to see the proprietor of this establishment. Is there perhaps an adult on the premises I should speak with?
Lex, you really don't know how to talk to kids, apparently. Now they're positively glaring at you like you've asked an unspeakably stupid question. You move your hand away from your sword, realizing that it might not be helping matters. May have dropped the guns on that one. Speaking of guns, the one in your holster begins to feel very heavy all of a sudden. You can't help but remember another day like this one. A lifetime ago. Call the first assignment.
Your first assignment. I guess I got some time. Drink or something.
Cecily.
Young Cecily.
You have just been relocated to Stronghold 21. 2 sweeps of training at an external regulatory facility saw you emerge top of your class, and now, inside the walls, you're at the bottom again. You don't mind. You lived for it. At the point that you had a great deal more superiors than you do now, none of them were as good as Sestra or Hamafi. Your first assignment was one which you were puzzling them for a while. Which didn't say much. A long string of petty thieves had been going on inside the walls for about a sweep. Nothing of substantial monetary value had been taken, though. What missing was bread. It was like clockwork. Every Weiss, another bakery got burgled, and no one knew how it happened. The perps were perfect, leaving no trace behind. I say perps because at the time the regulatory was convinced that it had been a skilled team of bandits responsible. No way something so airtight could be a work of one troll, according to the higher-ups. But, like you said, they weren't the brightest bunch. It didn't take you long to work out the truth. It was just no collect that tastes quite so unceasingly as hunger. This wasn't the work of a coordinated team, just someone who desperately needed to eat. You saw the pieces moving in a pattern, and made your own moves accordingly. It wasn't hard to predict where they'd go next. All you had to do was wait. They were small, fast, and alone, a single pawn racing desperately for cover. And maybe if you'd been anyone else, they would have managed it. As it was, the pursuit was over before it started. You had taken precautions. Your trap was sprung, and you had the culprit right where you wanted. You drew your sword. But then the light of the moons caught her face for the first time. She was a child, thin, weather-beaten, and starving. In the 12 seats as you first handed your blade, you never hurt a kid. Instead, you made her a promise. She'd never go hungry again. You struck your deal, and then handed back to the regulatory. There was always more paperwork to be done, even back in those days. Sit down on your brand new office chair, crack the file case open, and turn the radio on. You fiddle with the radio turned for a few minutes, trying and failing to find a station. You...
Wait. This isn't right. I don't listen to the radio. I don't remember doing that at all.
And yet, the memory is still going. The static coming through the speakers is getting louder. And louder. You can't stop the memory from happening, though. You're certain that it isn't even a memory anymore. It feels too alive.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know what the hell is happening. The dark black of the back of your eyelids looks menacing to you now, like it's about to reach forward and swallow you whole. You can't escape it. You can't do anything. The static builds to a deafening roar. There's only one thing you can think to do. You open your eyes. You're now standing a little ways from the barn, turned around to face the corn, still ripping at the crackling in the wind. You don't remember moving. That thought terrifies you a little bit. For some reason, you can't help but peer deeper into the fields, your eyes getting lost in the hundreds of little gaps in voice between the stalks. You open your eyes. The static from the spooky radio blended seamlessly into your gently ebbing sound of leaves enchanted by the breeze. The noise beckons you forward, wordlessly. Come closer. You feel yourself shift as to take a step.
Oh, fuck. Yelling? Yelling at first? Okay.
My name's Rousey. I gotta get into it first. Oh, my bad, guys.
Wait.
Stop!
The sound of a voice snaps you out of whatever unsettling reverie you were in the process of slipping into. That was a line. You look down to see the kid from before blocking your entry into the cornfield.
You mustn't go in there. You can hear it, can't you? The voice in the field that calls without words. It whispers in the spaces between.
You look back up to the field sprawling out in the front of you. You find yourself at a loss of words, which is really quite something for someone as your verbosity. Usually when something bugs you, you just regurgitate half a thesaurus at the slightest provocation. But now, you don't know what to say at all. You look to and fro and to and froing and toing, between the empty eyes of the child in your way and the darkness, threading through the stalks, tugging at the corners of your eyes.
You can hear it. You can see it in your eyes.
If you're looking, sorry, they're looking up at you intently, examining your face with a gaze that is no less impactful for seeming to have no substance at all.
I haven't met an adult who could hear it before.
After considering things for a few moments more, they hold out one hand, businesslike, offering to shake. You take the hand, and some very enthusiastic shake ensues. Their words punctuate the motion. Placid, yet pointed.
My name is Husk Maze. Welcome to the cornfields.
Welcome to the cornfield, Cecily.
Although again, that's not a welcome for you to go into the field itself. It's actually very important that you don't do that, for your own safety. The cornfields is just what we call this place, on account of all the corn and stuff.
They gesture back to the barn with a thumb.
We should head inside. It's dangerous to stay out here for someone like you, and everyone else is waiting. I need to let them know that everything is alright. You asked before if there was a grown-up in charge here. Well, I suppose that would be me.
The two of you are still in the middle of this handshake, arms moving in big sweeps up and down. Their small fingers are barely managing to wrap around the very ends of your own. It's kind of adorable.
It's nice to meet you, Husk. My name is Cecily Iopara, as I believe I said before. I'm here on business.
The wild swinging pendulum of your joined arms is making you a little queasy again, so you extricate yourself from Husk's grip as politely as possible. You cough to clear your head as much as your throat.
I was summoned here by someone. It wasn't you, was it?
No, I'm not in the habit of summoning people.
They put a strange emphasis on the word people in that sentence.
Something else has brought you here. Maybe it's the voice in the field, or a different voice altogether.
You're gonna go with a different voice altogether. Something tells you that your unknown color is an inscrutable entity capable of maybe warping reality itself. He just sounds like a bit of a douchebag. Well, let's not get carried away here. Us didn't say anything about reality bending or nothing. Perhaps you're just reading too much into things. Yeah, that's almost certainly what's going on here. This place is messing with your head. It's not as though you're creeped out about what's going on or anything, though. This is nowhere the chief regulator fears to tread. Right?
You seem a little scared for an adult.
Fudging rolled.
Well, that is to say, there's nowhere that a chief regulator fears to tread.
Absolutely unbelievable. Unwavering in the face of death. Painful easy. Maintaining a stoic facade while staring down a horde of cutthroat vagrants. Pants-crappingly simple. But showing a brave face in front of a spooky child who might be in communion with an inscrutable cosmic entity hiding in a cornfield in the middle of nowhere, that's apparently your limit. The shame is unbearable.
I don't think that's a lie. Even though you might be scared here. If there is nowhere you fear to tread, then perhaps you fear treading nowhere. And if there's a place that could be called nowhere, then I think that this might be it. People in the city, they sometimes come here and they see nothing. Because, let's be real, there's basically nothing here. But at the same time, they don't see the nothing. They don't look at it. They don't hear it. And so this place, which is not a place, means nothing to them. But I see something in between the stalks, feel something that pulls in each strand of corn silk. In each kernel, there's a smaller part of a hole, bigger than me, bigger than all of us. And that hole is also a hole, like an empty space that lies between, that allows things to grow. And as for the humble corn cob, we can share its bounty. We can drink of its syrup and eat of its flesh and find our troubles but a husk in the wind.
Their face assumes a plaintive, almost mournful expression. You think? You're having a bit of a hard time reading this kid, if you're honest. Where did that soliloquy even come from, anyway? The way their voice lits up and down, sometimes dying away and sometimes rushing forwards, reminds you a lot of Sestro in a way. It's the voice of someone who's used to speaking to a crowd. Or maybe a congregation. Something about the word relaxes you, a particular peaceful panacea. You feel some of the anxiousness, though you would never call it that, slip away into the dirt. It's all going to be alright. You can always count on Cecily Apart to keep her head when people around her are losing theirs. Sure, whatever. Especially when she's usually responsible for moving them in the first place. More importantly, you can count on Cecily Opar because she's you. Yes, you are Cecily Opar. Momentary lapse of recollective perfection be darned. You're still the same person as ever. Whatever happened to you a little while ago, it's most definitely, absolutely, categorically nothing to worry about. Husk patiently waits out for a brief moment of personal affirmation, stating up through the now completely open barn door with a bemused expression on their face. They're shit, yeah, sure. They shake their head. Yep, tutting to themselves for a moment as if to say, adults.
Adults.
Oh, they show you inside. Inside the barn, things are pretty homey. You wouldn't say domestic per se, since it looks after by a gang of youngsters, but it's obviously a pretty well-loved place. It's home to them. Man, I've seen these symbols before. There are about 20 kids nervously huddled upstairs, peeking from to watch you as you enter with Husk. They call up to them.
It's alright, everyone. There's no danger. This very tall lady has heard the call of the field. She'll be visiting for a little while, till she is called away.
Alright, you never get around to explaining why exactly you're here. You don't suppose it matters at all, though. It might take too much time to get into, especially with kids. I see the frogs! You give a kind of shy little wave to some of the braver ones who are showing their faces. One of the two girls wave back, but a nervous-looking kid ducks back out of sight.
Oh my god!
No, not Kino, it's copyrighted! Press the button. Do it. Press the button. That makes you feel a bit peculiar. Sad even. You like to think that you cut an imposing shadow. It was actually part of what got you this job. Your silhouette was pitted against those of several other intimidating interviewees, and came out the clear winner. You hate to think that you scare people unnecessarily, though, especially children, but it's not their fault. So rather than navel gaze any further, you take the chance to have a little look around the inside of this barn. There's a huge amount of supplies and provisions in here, and over the distance, is that armor you spy over there? Dang, you mean, darn, excuse your language. And most of all, you see eyes, lots of eyes, in varying sizes and shades of color. One of the things that all have come is a single pupil, uncannily oblong. It's the symbol of one of Reputan's principal deities. She goes by many names: the All-Mother, the Fountainhead, the Spooky Goat Thing, but most know her as Keopara. Or Kepara, whatever. The eyes have been hung over the doorway and windows, as well as strung between the rafters. One of the kids even has it embroidered on a shirt. Yep, that one. That'd be weird on a skirt. I guess you could embroider a skirt.
Yeah.
If you had like a denim one.
Totally.
It's like she's watching over this fragile haven that they've dug out for themselves here. Maybe you can live by her example and keep an eye on these youngsters while you wait for whatever nonsense your prank caller has in store. Uh-huh. Oh, I wasn't expecting that thing to show up here. Whatever, it probably just means there's some vague tangential clue buried somewhere around this barn that's relevant to your mission. Maybe you should try talking to Husk some more. You loathe to poke your nose where it doesn't belong. Then again, where doesn't it belong? That's a rhetorical question, thank goodness.
Let's look at the stash of supplies.
The eye of the large stash of supplies stacked up against the wall. Sorry, you eye it. There is also an eye. There's all sorts of stuff here. Food mostly, but also beverages, bolts of multicolored cloth, and some first aid provisions too. Pretty much everything you would need to run a self-sustaining operation outside the stronghold.
You have a very substantial larder over there. How do you keep it stocked? It's not like you have anywhere out here that sells anything unless there's a supermarket hiding out in this cornfield as well. A lot of this looks like stronghold stuff too, and there's no way any of you are walking all that way. Please tell me if none of you are walking all that way.
Husk cocks their head slightly.
None of us are walking all that way. That's right. It would be odd for a group of people who have turned away from corporate to come crawling back to them. We do what we can for others and receive our dues in return. Give only corn. Corn gives to us.
No, there's no denying it. That sounds like some straight up mystical BS if you ever heard it. The corn gives to us? What do you mean they just find these things out there in the fields? Sorry. Whatever.
Oh no, I mean, we trade for this stuff. What do you take us for? Every voice, when the trucks come, you strike a deal. They bring money. That is mostly just to hide the truth. Not everything needs to play out in terms of loops and bands. It may surprise you to know that there are some who simply give and receive in material things.
Wait, could this kid be saying what you think they're saying? Exchanging goods without some sort of corporate intermediary currency to facilitate the transferal value? What kind of occult mysticism are you dealing with here? This is really what you're getting pent up right now. The precise economic situation of these corn kids. You got a loop-sized lump stuck in your craw. Your mind is reeling. Hang on, let's not blow our lids over the concept of bartering here. You remember suddenly that this is what you called bartering. Having a word for it calms your financial frenzy a little. You cast your mind back to the sweeps, to your re-education and the regulatory. The history of Reputon is hazy at most, for good reason. Not all of it is public knowledge. One of the perks of being higher up is knowing things that the average troll doesn't. That is also one of the main drawbacks. Anyway, one of the big, think-pan-boggling reveals buried in all the junk was the fact that the corporate system of loops, bands, and rings was actually a fairly recent invention. Before it came into enforcement, especially pre-Renaissance, a lot of trolls just swapped things rather than appealing to proxy. The simplicity of it is overwhelming.
Oh god, like Blake.
Oh! Even recalling it threatens to blow up your pan all over again. I'll leave sweep later. This is why. This is why you hate thinking about the economy. Huss seems to take your involuntary grimace as a judgment on their illicit behavior. Not participating in the corporate financial institution is heavily frowned upon, after all.
Please, don't take our way of life to be a threat. I explained this to the people, ones who wouldn't take our corn. I think that sometimes adults need to understand that caring so much about what a bunch of kids do in private is, kind of weird. We don't intend to dismantle, only to grow something different in the space allotted to us. We don't have the answers, or believe that there are any. We just want to exist, to provide for ourselves, and live as we choose. And money doesn't provide for us, like it does for you. It's not like we can eat it. It makes nice jewelry, though.
They turn their heads slightly, looking towards the loft. A young girl who's spying on you from above quickly scurries out of sight. She appears to be wearing 2 loops as earrings. Husk blushes, just a bit.
That's a novel and ingenious way of using them. I can't say I go in for that kind of accessorization myself. I would have expected you to adorn yourselves with something a little more in keeping with your established theme. Here I was, thinking you made everything out of corn.
Okay, just because corn is basically my life, and has many magical and wonderful properties that I can't even begin to explain to someone who doesn't appreciate them, doesn't mean that literally everything we do has to revolve around corn. That would be really boring and one-dimensional take of my character, actually.
The All-Mother's eyes.
I noticed it when I came in, but you have quite a lot of religious iconography about the place, don't you?
You gestured the various eyes dotted about the barn.
I didn't expect to see quite a strong following all the way out here. The All-Mother's influence spreads far.
Husk looks around at each eye, feeding their gazes one by one.
It's not like her influence spreads. Not really. Would you say the air spreads far? Well, maybe you would. I don't know. You say very silly things. You say them very seriously.
That one wins them a smirk. While it hasn't happened in a duel before, you still know when you're beat in a clash of wits. Cutting trolls is your strong suit. Cutting remarks, less so. You just got totally roasted by this kid, in a monotone, deadpan fashion. They seem to know it too, because they actively reach over and get a high five from one of their friends. It hurts, but you endure.
Is in all things, because they all spring from her. She is the soil, and our hands do the work when we sow. But they do his work when we reap.
They don't say his name, but you know whom they're referring to. He's less well understood, and even less widely talked about than Kapara herself. And not Father. The Abyss. Gaion.
I don't think most trolls realize the need for balance.
This sounds familiar. You're a follower of the All-Mother, so the mythological concepts aren't entirely alien to you. Balance, poise, and even hand. These are all things someone like you can appreciate. Husk pauses. They walk up to an exceptionally large eye drawn on the wall in chalk.
Obligation. Die and return your gift. We all die when we must. The All-Mother is generous, not stupid. We need her out here. Her eyes watch, count us, a tally of laboring hands. We work, so they judge us as deserving, and in the meantime, we await the Savior.
Oh, of course. You were wondering where the kind of kooky vibe you were getting came from. This must be it. Some Kaopar sects are a little out there as far as doctrine goes. The weirdest ones tend to focus on the strange story of a savior, some guy destined to save your society from inevitable ruin. But if you ask you, it's all a load of cornball nonsense. One boy being able to save the grace of an entire culture, to be first in line to say it sounds like an unreal kind of bogus, theologically speaking, downright naive even. You never met a man who could do anything of the kind. He kept quiet about the blasphemy, though. You've been accepting into the home of this kid cult by their good graces, and you'd hate to make them bad. Some of these trolls look like they've actually killed before. Instead, you affect something you hope resembles a genuine interest.
Ah, yes, of course. The Savior. How long must we wait for his coming, I wonder?
For once in your life, it appears you might be a little too genuine. Husk's face positively lights up. Their eyes, usually dim and shaded, now sparkle with something wild and fierce.
Yes, the Savior. So you heard of him. I knew it. I knew. There was something about you. This must be the reason. This holy doctrine called you here, as it did us. Because you knew. He's coming. The things out there fear him, just as the All-Mother loves him. The strongholders scorn him, and we, his followers, they sow seeds. Doubt. We know that it's true.
They're really popping off at this point, shifting from a sermonic drawl to a full-blown proclamatory spiel. The other kids begin to crowd around, getting a bit caught up in the excitement.
We hear his name in the popping of kernels when we microwave them for a movie snack. His presence is in the wind, creaking of the weather vane. His blood tubes are filled with syrup, the very stuff of life itself. And when we chug our bottles of special red elixir, we draw closer to his divine image.
Oh my fudging goodness, they actually...
He is...
You're making it hard for me, man.
Because they drink code red!
He is a holy vessel of the court, a boon bestowed by the Mother. He is a hero. He will find us you will be our deliverance.
They reach the apex of their religious rant and triumph, and then 20 pairs of expected evangelical preteen eyes civil to face you all at once. Better hypothesize, and fast.
Yes, how could, possibly doubt such incontrovertible evidence as to our Savior's existence, even when the breeze and branch proclaim him? Let all naysayers take heed of his, most definitely imminent arrival.
This is much more you like it. You were a bit lost for words earlier, but now you're back on top. What the fudge is that word?
Logaraic.
Logaraic form. Sessing apart is back in business, and this characteristically polysyllabic style. Got it.
Polysyllabic.
Fudging gosh darn it.
I was gonna let him take that. I was gonna be like, you know what, you got it, buddy.
Of you who cast aspirations and other unpleasant remarks at feet of our great. What? I said aspirations.
Yep.
Yeah. And other unpleasant
multiple
remarks at the feet. What?
Aspersions.
Aspersions? Oh. Bruh.
I wouldn't have called you out on it, but you just called out Blake. So
Yeah, can we,
Yeah,
we
that's
need to
fair.
stop being so critical.
The momentarily absent Redeemer, whose name escapes me for the moment.
Oh, who are you kidding? This is a disaster. You can't proclaim for crap. This intersectional politics is how that looks. You sadly plead for the All-Mother for inspiration.
Oh, you sound so into it.
But, it is of no consequence. We the faithful shall remain as a bounteous harvest, while all else is cast away in the great husking yet to come.
He goes nothing.
Checkmate, atheists.
The kids just straight up lose it. Now we're talking whooping, cheering, high fives and low fives all around. Husk crowd surfs at one point. A feral boy runs up to you excitedly and makes a noise that sounds like or something. The energy you've dished out is like manna for these kids. Who knew that affirming their core religious beliefs would get them so excited? Says I feel like you've been a positive influence. But amongst them revelry, it's hard to not feel a twinge of guilt. You weren't being entirely honest with them. You're not like lying, probably because you're just unfathomably bad at it, but you're a person of authority, and it's important that you give it to the people straight. Maybe it's okay to bend the truth a little bit for these kids, though. It makes them happy. After all, they are utterly deluded evangelizing fanatics, but I mean, what do you know, really? I'll seize your brow furrowed in paid deliberation. It seems like you take a sign of discomfort, caused by all the attention. They urge the agitated farm kids to settle down for a moment, and after a while, they all head back to what they were doing earlier.
The weapons on the walls.
You look over to one of the far walls, where the dull glint of metal is drawing your attention.
Being so quiet.
Scythes, pitchforks, shovels, and all of this is corporate weaponry, the kind that gets handed out to kids when they're fresh out of school and ready to face the world on their own.
Are you turning pretty?
Or not, as it often turns out. It is widely known that none of them make particularly effective weapons, though. This fact basically one of the most long-standing in-jokes your culture has. It's not like anyone's gonna go cleaving an aggressor in half with a weedy tier scythe anytime soon. You expect the kids who are stockpiled all the strife specify. They got lumped to create this miniature arsenal. But they got nothing, but they're not gonna be winning any fights with this pile of garbage.
That weaponry you have stockpiled over there, it's quite the collection. However, I don't think it's going to be of much use should you ever have to defend this place. It's almost painful to look at on account of how decidedly unpainful these specified tend to be in practice. If you're in need of some more comprehensive armaments, then I could make some arrangements for you.
You might not fight children, but that doesn't mean other people have the same ethical qualms. Almost nobody does. At least you can make sure they can defend themselves properly. Husk looks at you with a confused expression. Their eyes flick between you and the makeshift armory several times before glancing down towards your sword.
They are not weapons. Honestly, it's a little worrying that you would think that. Although, I suppose I get why. You grown-ups are all so alike.
They sigh, looking a little disappointed.
It's true. These things were given to us, used for bad things, like hurting. That's why a lot of us, in a way, didn't want to hurt anyone. It's true. Bad things were to happen to us, that maybe we wouldn't be able to stop it using them. We're not good at fighting. But most of us don't want to be. I think that's okay. It's not the point of living, I don't think.
It may not be the point you think to yourself, but sometimes it's the only way to keep on living it at all. You're now about to derail this important monologue by such meaninglessly pedantry out loud. Doing it in your own head is bad enough as it is.
Came here, we learned the things which had scared us. The things we thought were evil, scary, but have a different purpose, used in new ways. We don't like to call them weapons. To us, they're tools. A scythe is a blade. It's splitting flesh, but it's very handy harvesting the corn. Shovel might be useful for herding, but it's even more useful for tilling the soil, planting seeds.
Once again, there's something about this quiet tone of their voice that echoes deep in your chest as they say their piece. You don't know why, but some part of you knows that there's a great potential hidden behind their words, an inscrutable force biding its time, waiting, like a shoot in soil. Who knows what this kid might grow into when they're older? You mutter a quick prayer to the Alma that hope that yes, they will grow older. It's unlike you, going soft, like this kid's words are microwaves washing over your corn cob of your subconscious.
Sorry. Did you say something?
Husk is a good grace to rescue us all from this simile. They might be a feral farm child, but at least they have enough manners to know a literally quagmire when they spot it.
It was nothing. Please continue.
Did look at you with that oddly piercing gaze.
We don't need weapons, because we already have the only one we need.
Oh, oops.
You said before, it appeared suspicious because we hide out here. I know it's suspicious, hide, but anyone can do it. Hide in the cornfields as you hide in your fortress. Hiding is just a tool, same as your sword or our scythes and tills. Secrets can be used to do bad things. You keep secrets. I don't know why you're here, and that's okay.
It's an interesting way of putting it. Maybe the unknown is kind of like a field, you think. Fertile ground is for things that take root, full of the fecundity of the unfathomable. Okay, even you have to admit that was pretty pretentious. Maybe you've been around these farmers for a bit too long. Your thoughts are starting to become a little corny already. You collect your final insight increment without much fanfare. That's weird. I'm not really sure what the purpose of the meter was serving here. It just showed up, like usual, without any input from you. Maybe it's your visor playing up. The thought worries you a lot. You've had this thing a long, long time. You don't know what you'd do without it. Whatever, it's nothing. This thing is old, and things only get old when they're built to endure. You don't think even a landmine could destroy this thing. Little glitches hardly cause for concern. Your conversation with Husk has reached a neutral lull, though, and absent of any other questions, they decide to go and check in with their friends. You watch the way the other kids swarm them, looking up with bright eyes filled with admiration. Maybe they can't believe that someone had the guts to talk to a big, scary adult.
No.
Husk talking in the background to the other kids. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Hey Usman, how's it going? Hey Usman.
No.
Usman? Usman? Usman?
Usman, you're muted.
Usman, you want a kiss? Come on.
Usman.
Usman?
Usman.
We're gonna have a line coming up soon, so I don't know.
Hi, I'm back.
Usman.
Hi.
Press the button. Do it. Press the button.
Oh,
Hello, Husk.
Or maybe they were all the same thing to you. That husk base has something special about them. An aura of anticipation. When it spreads through the space they inhabit and the people nearby. Perhaps the other kids see those distant searching eyes, empty and yet full of something indescribable, and can't help but follow their gaze. Or just maybe you think, as Husk lifts one of the younger kids up to their shoulders for a ride, maybe they're just simply a good friend. Sometimes you just need that to see the goodness in everything. Hey, now no use getting all sentimental out here. They didn't ask for your protection or your feelings. Sometimes you need to learn when to leave people alone. But you just can't help it. There's something here worth protecting, you think. People like these are sort of that, underneath it all. You took this job in order to help. It's good to remind yourself of that when you can, even though you never forget anything. If you were to lose that, then maybe you lose yourself. Your thoughts take a dive from worrying emotionally into patent existentialism, with all the grace of a dead cornfowl falling off a building. It is decided by below with a painful allegorical thud. A loud thudding noise comes from outside the barn. It sounds suspiciously like something dropping out of the sky, crashing the ground hard. A tiny boy who was keeping lookout races to the barn in panic. He yells about something dropping out of the sky and crashing to the ground hard before scurrying up a ladder. You spring to your feet, sword hand flying into Frostman's hilt. You check time on your overhead. Plus 2.111. Just like the voice said. Looks like your playtime in the cornfield is over.
Ricky, remember the time.
Ricky always remember time. Time is your debt. Dun, 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 dun. Frightened by the noise, the rest of the kids all scramble frantically up to the loft into little cubby holes, hiding with lightning speed. It's like they're prepared for something like this. In the bad dash for cover, how's your eyes meet yours? The blade bright with something akin to anger for a moment, before cooling into something else. They nod, shakily.
you're going outside to see what it is. I need to stay here. In case... I don't know what exactly.
They had their face beneath the wide brim of their hat. Their voice is trembling. In the moment, you realize your mistake. Husk is still a child, despite the wisdom beyond their sweeps. In fact, maybe even saying that is doing them a disservice. Perhaps the distance from your own childhood is making you read more into what they say than what it really is. It's kind of cliche, actually, having a child be the most insightful one around. There's a whole lot of pressure to put on someone so small. You crouch down to meet their eye. Z.
It's alright. I'll take care of it. There's no shame in staying behind to ensure the safety of others. Let the risk fall on those better equipped to deal with danger.
You draw Prosperian in one sharp practice motion.
And by better equipped, I mean that literally. I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a fucking sword.
Husk looks at you with an odd expression before you realize your mistake. Oh, crap, you've been doing so well not swearing in front of these kids! Now with that word spread throughout the cornfields like a plague, a curse by name and by nature. You have brought this pestilence upon their way of life. Their youthful innocence is no more. Where once there was only wind through the corn and devoted prayer, now there shall echo the muffled sounds of dozens of children exchanging bad words with each other in foul-mouthed, furtive whispers. You did this to them!
Okay, please pretend you didn't hear that.
I know what fuck is, dingus. I've been online.
And with that horrific revelation, they flash you a cheeky smile and scamper for the ladder to join their friends. You can't help it. Something stirs deep within your lukewarm, teal-tinted blood pusher.
Yeah, that was
You
the best
swear
line
this
so
moment
far.
to protect this child with your life.
Strongly agree.
You exit the barn cautiously, sword in hand. It's deathly quiet out there now. The wind, which has been rustling through the fields, is giving to the air a persistent crackling hum. It's died down completely. It's unnerving, like the sound of a clock stopping. You notice it because it's not there. You grip your sword tighter and inch your way around the back of the building to where a loud crash came from. You're on the corner slowly, holding your breath. The ground out behind the barn is wet and muddy from a recent downpour. The soggy earth is mixed together with bits of straw and dry grass, forming an unpleasant ruscous kind of sludge. Bits of it are caked all over the wall in the building, thrown up by a sudden impact. At the center of the blast is a long black box. From a distance, it takes you a few moments to realize what you're looking at. It's a violin case. You glance all around to make sure that nobody is hiding nearby. You even look up at the sky for some stupid reason, as though there might be some spying on you from up there. It's not a soul in sight. You make your way over to the case, bending down and pulling it up out of the mud puddle it's plunged into. It's very light, too light even. If there was ever an instrument inside this thing, it probably isn't in there anymore. It's just as well, since they wouldn't have survived the drop. You wipe away the bit of slime from the lid, and the thing pop the clasps on the front. It isn't locked. Open it. Inside, the case is lined with a rather garish red velvet, just as you thought. There's no violin in here, or as the looks of things, anything at all. It's empty. Or so, apparently, as you open the lid away, a mechanism inside the hinge makes a loud click. In an instant, you dart back to the case, fearing the worst. Should have known there would have been some kind of trap involved. But the explosion you saw in your mind's eye doesn't come. Instead, you hear a voice. A familiar voice. Usman!
Usman, are you there? Are you available? It's been 15 minutes since you said we're not.
Having fun, Cicely.
We'll give it like a minute. Eating a bite.
Oh, Cicely. I'm so glad you could come to the cornfield with me.
Yeah, otherwise Blake is gonna have to be back up obnoxious here.
I love gas.
Yes.
Oh, gas is delicious. I love drinking gas.
I do too, man. I feel that.
Cicely, you have 1 hour. You must eat 15 corns in the cob.
I'm glad to finally do the Husky Maze voice. My throat's a little too dry to do it properly, but
Well, great. That's all you're gonna have to fucking do with it.
it was within the right realm.
Because it's gonna be a while for another Huska moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna get about 3 line reads in like 20 hours after this game.
Husky.
And
Andrew
that's it.
Husky.
Don't say that.
Oh yes,
Don't even draw up the comparison.
my favorite internet series, Homestuck. I love Andrew Hussey.
I know what Homestuck is. I've been online.
Homestuck is dingus. I've been online.
I'm specifically on the Patreon for
I stay
Homestuck,
united.
Homestuck Cubed, or Homestuck Squared. I've been funding the Patreon from day one.
I've read Vast Error, dingus.
Oh, isn't that why, Cecily? That's where you've come. You want to hear the entire lore of Homestuck 2, and I'm
No.
gonna give it to you.
No,
What? Shut up, Husky. You're not here. You've read Vast Error. It's not as good.
No wonder he's too scared to go outside.
Oh, I love eating food. Eating food is delicious. Alright,
Alright, can you glide?
Alright, yeah.
Oh, yes.
None.
Having fun, Cecily. I thought you might enjoy a little frolic through the cornfields while you still have a chance. Before our game really gets going, I mean. You did well to treasure your memories here in the days ahead. I hope you make sure to listen closely. The voice pauses, as if inviting a response.
Like 4 times as loud.
I always do. Why did you direct me here? One of the good things about games is that you can choose whether or not to continue. Haven't seen anything from here yet. That would convince me to keep playing.
The voice is silent for a moment more, and then chimes in again. This message is pre-recorded, so your witty response was worthless to the farmland in which you currently stand. There's nobody here but countless deaf, mindless ears. And that's just the children running around the place. What? Did this guy just say kids? Your kids? Their worthless ideology means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Surely you must understand this. Their faith is but the chaff cast away by a zephyr breeze, an insignificant speck in Murphydon's long history. This haven is nothing more than a blemish. The voice spits the words out as if it resents the efforts, oozing malignant and superciliousness. Yep, sure, in equal measure.
Both big words just got like demolished.
All of them is to say that all of it to say that I find it pretty pointless. What is there to build here without eventually to crumble? What seed can be planted here but not wither and perish? What life can exist without succumbing to ever-encroaching death? Surely you must agree with me, Cecily. Surely you of all people must see it too. The rot that pervades this planet, the people who crawl on its surface like a virulent scum.
But the rot, like 5 pebbles.
That is your job, isn't it?
Rain world.
To weed out the
Rain world.
infestation.
Like rain world.
You bite back the urge to snap back at this imbecile. It's insufferable having to listen to this crap this guy is spewing. BS like this would even make good fertilizer. Don't worry, I won't keep you much longer. Lapdog, I've had my fun for now. Before I leave these savages behind, you should check the case more thoroughly. There's a gift I'd like you to have. I know don't relax, but please, don't take it as a threat. Merely a warning from one player to another, or perhaps a suggestion as to where your skills might be better suited. After all, secrecy can only keep you safe when you keep your secrets safe. The final rasping word of this monotonous diatribe fades out. The recorded message mercifully at an end. The wind starts up through the corn again, seemingly to carry the whisper out over the hills and fields beyond. Safe, safe. Hissing, spitting, crackling like the static at the end of a tape. It's as though the leaves and the stalks themselves are mocking the idea. Whatever. What does a bunch of plants know about anything? You're furious. You couldn't admit to yourself while he was talking, but something about the voice got under your skin in the worst way. So dismissive, so uncaring. Perhaps it reminded you too much of yourself. But most of all, it made you afraid for Husky and their friends. The life they made for themselves out here, hearing someone dismiss it as worthless brought home how fragile it really is. It's people like them that you most want to protect from people like this voice, from people like you. Without thinking, you burst in frustration. You the first being high above your head and stab down the open violin case. You put all your weight behind the motion, going in for the kill. The blade punches effortlessly through the velvet fabric, puncturing the padding like a board underneath before breaking through the rigid exterior and plowing down the soil at one last satisfying push. You try to think about how alike the flesh and bone feels. You try to think about how much you enjoyed it because of that. You hate to admit it, but the voice is right about one thing. Or it might not be. What you're doing right now is rather pointless. You tug Prosecutor back to the body of the case, bracing one foot against the rim. The whole felt interior, board and all, comes out with a blade. Whoops. Something else comes out of the hollow shell along with it. A small square bit of card that someone must have hid underneath. You pull it off and get a closer look at it. A blurry figure looks out from an even blurrier photograph. It looks like it was taken at a distance, secretly. They appear to be standing atop a cliff, wearing some kind of helmet. Their legs are bandaged. Your sword pierced them straight through the sternum. Pierced her. Because you recognize this girl. You realize? This photograph shouldn't exist, but it does. She should be a secret, but she isn't. You hear a voice warning loud and clear. She's been found. Orica Roust is in danger.
Wowie zowie. We did it.
Wow! Wow! Oh yeah, baby!
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
My favorite Snowbound blood.
I love corn. I love eating corn.
Corn, baby. Oh
I love
yeah.
The corn giveth
entire
and the corn taketh
character.
away.
They made an entire character based off of a fudging like slimesicle joke from like 5 years ago.
And you know what? That character was good enough that they're one of my favorites. Top 3 easy.
Mm-hmm. Put them on the tier list. Put them
Put them up there. Stick them
in
up.
the hook.
We did it, guys.
We did it, and we only have 3 members left. Well, I mean, this guy's still here, but
I'm here.
yeah, that's why I said that.
Wow, that was a wonderful session.
I can't believe Nick missed P coin.
Nick missed
Do you
out
think
He's gonna have to
Luigi
watch the
would
VOD
buy
later.
a P-coin?
Nods head.
Luigi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we? Yeah.
Luigi?
Nick missed out on my Husk Maze voice.
Nick missed everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've erased Nick's memory.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, Nick will not be continuing. Because Nick doesn't know who we are.
Correct.
Gray, are you a Jim Henson head?
Not that much. I think it's neat, but I'm not a huge Jim Henson head.
I see.
Why?
I feel like you. I don't know. I feel like you could be.
I feel like I could be too, honestly. Get it?
Wow.
Are you a creature shop head, Sky? You a Jim Hensonite?
I feel like I've known a lot of Jim Hensonites, and it's just, yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I feel like there's a very particular type of person that likes that are, Jim Hensonites.
the Dark Crystal or whatever it's called. Uber Evil, Secret Crystal, Dark Evil.
That your Husk mates reminded me of. I don't know. It's just a nice voice that would belong on
A Jim Henson
Muppet.
creature.
Mhm.
Glad. I'm quite proud of that voice.
I'm quite proud.
I'm also quite proud of my Coco voice, but I can't ever show that off. I gotta find another place to re-implement it.
You can't ever show it off.
No. People cannot know that I'm awesome. Alright, man, we get it. We get it. Alright. Should I
What?
should I deafen and then make the announcement, or should I just like talk about it right now with you here?
I'm talking about it right now, yeah.
Alright, buddies. Alright, fellas who are still tuned into this stream and or watching it on a VOD. As of this stream, as I mentioned at the start, Snowbound, Blood, and Vast Error will be going on a hiatus that is indefinite. We don't know how long it'll last. Until our schedules all align again. Hopefully they do. Or until we come to some other casting conclusion.
Come to
whatever.
terms.
Yeah, until negotiations are over. It's on hiatus. In its stead, on top of me streaming things on my own sometimes, which will hopefully be more frequent, we will be reading something else. That is, the four of us, me, Blake, Usman, and Lyna, and Sky will be there probably pretty often too, but not reading out lines. As a matter of fact, we'll probably have at least one other person reading with us next time when we start this next thing. That is Ace Attorney, the Phoenix Wright one, the first one. I don't know what it's called.
It's just called the Ace Attorney.
Not like Injustice for All or whatever.
No, they don't have taglines until the later ones.
Okay. I don't know. Is it on the GBA? What does it start off on?
Yeah, it's Game Boy Advance.
Okay, I think I have it then. Excellent. All right. Well, next time we do.
Oh yeah, or we do some fudging wax streaming version because wait, I mean, like half of us have the fudging other version of it.
It's probably not that expensive.
It's you
If
might
you want me
want.
to get the other one, I might get that.
I would say just get it on Steam, but that's still $30, 30 bones.
Okay, that's not that bad. Anyway, so we're gonna be reading Ace Attorney next, the Phoenix Wright, and we're at least gonna do that game. I don't know if we're gonna do more than that because it's a long ass.
It depends on schedules because like there are more characters. There's gonna be a bunch of characters.
Yep.
And also, whoever does Phoenix, God help you.
I'll probably do Phoenix.
I don't want to do Phoenix.
You don't worry. I'll probably do Phoenix. It kind of makes the most sense. I don't know. Unless Usman really wants to do Phoenix. I don't think Lyna, do you want to do Phoenix right? Do you want to be Phoenix?
No.
Yeah. I'm probably Phoenix. Which means I've got to come up with a good Phoenix Wright voice.
Maya!
Whoa!
Mia's... I was about to say spoilers.
I could tell. I could tell you were like restraining yourself. Alright, well. Oh yeah, scheduling wise. We're gonna be doing it every single Sunday from 1 to 4 p.m. on average.
Every single day.
Hopefully.
Assuming it goes right. It'll be Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. We're not doing the Friday and Sunday switching thing or whatever. Sundays only for these streams, the Phoenix Riders. It'll be 1 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's like, what is that? UTC -6 or something? -7?
That was -8.
I thought so too. I don't remember.
Where the fuck am I going?
So yeah. That's that big announcement. Gonna deafen in the call, do a little bit of house cleaning, and then the stream. I'm up the stream. Alright, they're all gone. It's just me now. Thank you for tuning in to the stream, the Snowbound Blood occasion. As I've said, I really wish we could do more of this soon, but alas, it's likely that we cannot. At least you'll be getting some awesome Ace Attorney. So the deal with Ace Attorney is that I have not played the games, and Lyna has not played the games or seen them, and Sky has not played the games or seen them, but